Hi, I'm Izzy. I am an eval engineer over at Braintrust. And for my demo, I'm going to give you a quick of why and how to eval your agents with Braintrust. If you're building a system with any sort of agentic component today, Braintrust can help you figure out where and why your agent is breaking as you do dev and get to a quality agent even more quickly. To develop real and impactful agentic products, you want to do more than like spot check a few answers. And evals are really, if you're not familiar, what helps show us where our agents are brittle, incomplete, or far too expensive. So I assume most of you today will be using the code-based implementation. We have an SDK in many popular languages, as well as a CLI that, in my experience, agents are very good at using and employing to help you run evals. And then you can explore the results in the Braintrust UI. One really interesting part of Braintrust that I like to highlight is that we have a UI that makes it really easy for engineers as well as product managers and domain experts, people without technical expertise, to review the same evidence and decide whether that agentic system actually is meeting the types of goodness and quality that you care about. Also, entire evals can be created in the UI. We have some videos on our YouTube about that, if that is your path of curiosity. Okay, so a little bit about how to eval and how to eval in Braintrust. Evaling is really about turning agent behavior into metrics. So before we can compare different configurations of an agent, different prompts, tool spaces, sandbox, what have you, we need a repeatable way to define and measure good behavior. And that starts with making clear and observable requirements for your agent, what it should do, avoid, and acknowledge. We turn those requirements into a representative data set with inputs, context, expected behavior, and other metadata. And as Braintrust, we don't define that for you, but we have a number of great examples on our blog about how we have approached creating representative data sets. And then, of course, you can always import different benchmark data and use that to run your agent in Braintrust. Additionally, we have to measure distinct dimensions. Braintrust doesn't prescribe what good looks like for your agent. That is up to you. We do ship a package called Auto Evals with a number of scores about things like factuality and formatting. But we make it really easy for you to define what good looks like for you and create either deterministic scores or LLMs as a judge to test your agent against. So here I've got a quick example. So say we had an agent that is meant to provide support context. Here I was doing a little example with a support agent for the Playwright repo. And we try giving it two different prompts. We can run these each as experiments in Braintrust and then observe how well that scores against the metrics we care about. So here we see them each as a separate experiment line. Here I was running with 50 examples and then measuring different things like answer correctness, answerability, if the LLM was like hallucinating out the wazoo or actually answering when it should, as well as groundedness, if it was able to call the right tools to pull the right context. And one really great part about Braintrust is that you can change the configurations, view the scores that you care about, and then dig into, this is funny, dig into exactly where failures are happening, and with this diff, compare, okay, will it let me click? Compare things head to head and see where your behaviors are changing. And dig into each failure and each score individually. Another really great feature of Braintrust that I like to highlight is this topics feature, which shipped just about 2 months ago. Digging through agent traces, it is a huge volume of data and often hard to audit unless you're ready to like dig in and do a bunch of data analysis yourself. So topics is a feature that automatically clusters your traces for you. And lets you dig into the components that you care about, what types of usage behavior you're seeing, what types of issues you're seeing. Because this was a user-facing one, we dig into sentiment and can classify the different users' sentiment as they're interacting with our agent. And in this example, my more specific prompt did very well. Another thing I think most people here are probably not going to code solely on their own today, but rather use a coding agent. One really great use of Braintrust is to trace your coding agent. We have integrations with lots of different harnesses, and I think this is a really great way to monitor your dev, make sure you're not blowing money on tokens when you don't need to be, and also target if there are certain areas where different tools or different skills could save you a lot of time and money. And I'll leave you today. Everyone at the hackathon is getting Braintrust Pro free for a month, which gives you both Tuesday and extended for the next 30 days. A bunch of scorers. You can define custom topics for that clustering I talked about. Keep your data and allow human review if any of you are doing something where in a specific domain and you want to pull in a domain expert to look at what you're building. We make that really easy. And I'll leave you with a few ideas about how to use evals to leverage our partners.